I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. He let us in, knows where we've been, in an octopus's garden in the shade. I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. I'd like to see under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would be warm below the storm in our little hideaway beneath the waves, resting our heads on the seabeds in an octopus's garden near a cave. I'd ask my friends to come and see an octopus's garden with me. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden in the shade. We would shout and swim about the coral that lies beneath the waves, beneath the ocean. Oh, what joy for every girl and boy, knowing they're happy and there's happy air. We would be so happy, you and me, no one there to tell us what to do. I'd like to be under the sea in an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. In an octopus's garden with you. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, rocking all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. Well, you ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Well, they said you was high class, that was just a lie. They said you was high class, well, that was just a lie. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. Take it, Daddy. Well, they said you was high class, that was just a lie. Well, they said you was high class, well, that was just a lie. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't nothing but a hound dog, crying all the time. You ain't never caught a rabbit and you ain't no friend of mine. One more time. We have one more song that we were hoping Rachel would sing. So, Rachel, if you're out there and you want to sing Stray Cat Blues, we'd love to have you. Well, she'd probably hear it. She should be in the block in the comments. Oh, well, we'll start it off and then hopefully she'll be here by the time we... She's coming? Oh, good.
This is as much a surprise to me as it is to you. Sitting on the fence, I ain't got enough dough to pay the rent. I'm flat broke, but I don't care. I strut right by with my tail in the air. Stray cat strut, I'm a lady's cat. I'm a feline Casanova, hey, that is right. Got a shoe thrown at me from a mean old man. Get my dinner from a garbage can. Don't cross my path. I don't bother chasing mice around. I slink down the alley looking for a fight, howling at the moonlight on a hot summer night, singing the blues while the lady cats cry. Wild stray cat, you really gone guy. I wish I could be as carefree and wild, but I got cactus and I got cat style. I don't bother chasing mice around. Slink down the alley looking for a fight, howling to the moonlight on a hot summer night, singing the blues while the lady cats cry. Wild stray cat, you're really gone guy. I wish I could be as carefree and wild, but I got cat class and I got cat style.
Good morning. Welcome to the Community Church of Chapel Hill Unitarian Universalist Fellowship. I am Sienna Butler, a member of the Worship Associates Ministry, and we want to welcome any guests or newcomers to our church and call attention to the special note for you, welcome guests and newcomers, on the back side of the order of service. After service, please join us for our in-person Sunday social. We also want to welcome those of you attending online. Lyrics to hymns and all elements of the service may be found on the live stream screen. A complete A complete order of service, including weekly announcements, is available via the link in the Sunday morning email and on the church website. Please turn off or silence any cell phones during our service to maintain a worshipful experience. Whomever you are, whomever you love, however you arrived at this beloved place, you are welcome here. And now for Within These Walls.
Good morning. I'm Kathleen Farinola, co-chair of the church auction. Make sure it's working for me. Earlier this week, we all received a heartfelt email from Reverend Thom recalling some of his favorite auction items or events he's won by bidding. Many of us have similar memories that make us smile when we remember our auction wins. Well, the good news this morning is that bidding has begun in this year's online auction. So many great items have been added, even in the last 24 hours. We're now over 300 items on the auction site that include things like themed meals, special events, handmade treasures, food, wall art, sporting events, entertainment, craft classes, music or garden items, books, professional services, vacation travel, and more. And we have special additions to the online process this year. Our resident church artists have provided original artwork that's on display in the Commons. Excuse me. It's available for your viewing and, more importantly, for your bidding. Many thanks to Joan Mead, Marnie Goldschlag, and Susan Newlist excuse me, for their beautiful wall art decorations. And more church items are being showcased today at the double auction table during the social gathering. We have everything from a jeweled guitar and hand-carved chess sets to jewelry and some fun games. So the auction is online. It's a virtual warehouse of wonderful treasures and ways to connect with other church members. Join us in this fun way of fundraising and start bidding now, because bidding ends in a few weeks at noon on Saturday, October 19th. If you need help getting online to bid, some of us will be at the auction table after the service to help you. Thank you.
Thank you, Kathleen. And I just want to say a special welcome this morning to all of our animal companions and friends who've joined us this morning. You too are welcome here. Following the service, we have a special Sunday social for the pets in the courtyard with dog treats and other animal treats for your pets to enjoy. And I just want to say, feel at home here. And if your animal wants to leave, respect that. And wants to move around, we respect that too. So welcome, and let us join this morning in song. I invite you to rise in body or in spirit, and we're going to sing number 38, Morning Has Broken.
And since we have the band here, we're going to do the Cat Stevens version, if any of you remember that one. So that means we'll repeat the first verse again at the end. So we'll do all three verses. And Tobin here is going to lead us, along with Jenny.
Like
Now for our call to worship, we have a little poem about the creatures you might have brought today. So it goes like this. We give thanks for the earth and its creatures, and are grateful from A to Z for alligators, apricots, acorns, and apple trees, for bumblebees, bananas, blueberries, and beagles, coconuts, crawdads, cornfields, and coffee, daisies, elephants, and flying fish, for groundhog, glaciers, and grasslands, hippos and hazelnuts, icicles and iguanas, for juniper, jackrabbits, and June bugs, kudzu and kangaroos, lightning bugs and licorice, for mountains and milkwood and mistletoe, narwhals and nasturtiums, otters and ocelots, for peonies and persimmons and polar bears, quahogs and Queen Anne's lace, for raspberries and roses, salmons and sassafras, tornadoes and tulip wood, urchins and valleys and waterfalls, yaks and yams and yogurt. We are grateful, good earth, not least of all for zinnias, zucchini, and zebras, and for alphabet of wonderful things that are simple as A, B, C. Come let us worship together. Please join me with the chalice lighting. Their words are in the service. We light this chalice to celebrate Unitarian Universalism. This is the church of the open mind. This is the church of the loving heart. And this is the church of the helping hands. And now for our musical presentation, We Are All Earthlings, sung by the Chalice Choir.
Some of us have feathers, some of us have fins, some of us are furry, some of us have grins. We swim and hop and slither, we leap and soar and run. We all live together on a planet of the sun. We are all
We live in the desert.
tanks and cannons, and houses just for one. We all live together on a planet of the sun. We are all earthly, spinning around together on a planet of the sun. Floated down a river, swinging through the trees, climbing up a mountain and going with the breeze. All of us can have a happy, healthy place to be if we can float and swim and climb in earthling harmony. We are all earthly, spinning around together on a planet of the sun. Spinning around together on a planet of the sun.
I have a story to share with you today. And before I was the minister here, there was an interim minister who was with us for 1 year named Reverend Gary Kowalski. And among Reverend Kowalski's many gifts was that he's probably the biggest animal lover I've ever met. And he introduced to our church some of this tradition. He held the first blessing of the animals, at least that we remember here. And this is a story that I learned from Gary, and I'm going to retell it. And the story is called What the Turtle Taught Theodore. What the Turtle Taught Theodore, and it's a true story. And I look out, I see a number of dogs here, but I don't see any turtles, but I do see one reptile down in the front row. So this is maybe one of your cousins, three or four times removed. So Theodore grew up over 200 years ago, when maybe some of the things that kids did for fun are maybe different than what kids nowadays do for fun. When Theodore was a little boy, he noticed that all the older boys in the neighborhood had a game. It wasn't a very good game. What they liked to do was to get sticks and see if they could sneak down by the pond and sneak up on a turtle that was sunning itself on a log and give the turtle a whack with the stick and whack it into the water. Does that sound like a good game? No. But that was the game that Theodore saw all the older boys play in the neighborhood. One day, Theodore Parker was out. He was maybe 4 or 5, and he was walking along, and he was swinging a stick through the tall grass. And he came upon the pond, and there he saw out on a log a beautiful turtle, big turtle, sunning itself on the log. And Theodore thought of all of the older kids and their games. And young Theodore wanted to be like the other older boys he'd seen. So he decided that he was going to sneak up on the turtle, and he raised his stick into the air, and he was prepared to knock the turtle into the water, but then something stopped him. He listened to himself, and he said something seemed to be wrong in this situation. He looked again at the turtle, quiet, peaceful, enjoying the summer day, just as he too liked to feel the warmth and the light of the sun. Had the turtle ever done him any harm? Surely no. Was the turtle so different from himself? Not that much. And so slowly, Theodore lowered his stick and walked home, thinking about his decision. When he got home, Theodore's mother was there to greet him, and he told her about this. He told her this story of what had happened. She listened carefully to him, and listened especially carefully when he related how some strange force inside had stopped him from hitting the little animal. Theodore, his mother told him, that force inside you, that voice, was the voice of conscience. Always pay attention to it and follow what your conscience tells you. It's your moral compass that points you in the right direction. And if you honor your conscience, you'll never go wrong in this world. Theodore Parker would grow up to become the most famous Unitarian minister, probably of all time, and one of the greatest leaders of the Unitarians in the 1800s. Theodore Parker became a champion of the defenseless who needed defending, and he was a hero in the fight for people's rights and freedoms. And that all started one summer day when Theodore was just a child who saw a turtle and decided to do what was right.
And now it is time for our offertory. Freely we have received gifts that minister to our needs of body and spirit. Gladly we bring to our church and its wide concerns a portion of this bounty. If you wish to donate online, please point your camera to that QR code on the back of the order service and tap the banner that appears, or there is information on the church's website. We will now receive the morning offertory.
I'm going to sing this one for my brother Jenn. I lost a couple weeks ago. He was a cat daddy. I'm a doggy daddy. But I couldn't find a song called Smelly Old Cat, so I'm going to sing this one instead. Where's that smelly old dog? Holes in my backyard. Holes in my backyard. Where's that smelly old dog? Get down, you smelly old dog. Dog hair on my coat, dog hair on my coat. Get down, you smelly old dog. Get down, you smelly old dog. Once that smelly old dog could run with any squirrel, run with any squirrel. Where's that smelly old dog? Now that smelly old dog just sleeps the day away, sleeps the day away. Where's that smelly old dog? Farewell, old friend. We'll meet again on some green field. Our old wounds heal. Farewell, old friend. We'll meet again on some green field. Our old wounds heal.
The reading this morning comes from the novel Gilead by Marilyn Robinson. Gilead won the Pulitzer Prize in Fiction in 2005. The novel takes the form of a long letter written by an old minister to his very young son. It says, "We were very pious children from pious households in a fairly pious town, and this affected our behavior considerably. Once, we baptized a litter of cats. They were dusty little barn cats, just steady on their legs, the kind of wayfish creatures that live their anonymous lives, keeping the mice down and have no interest in humans at all, except to avoid them. But the animals all seemed to start out sociable. So we were always pleased to find new kittens prowling out of whatever cranny their mother had tried to hide them in, as ready to play as we were. It occurred to one of the girls to swaddle them up in a doll's dress. There was only one dress, which was just as well, since the cats could hardly tolerate a moment in it and would have to have been unswaddled as soon as they were christened in any case. I myself moistened their brows, repeating the full Trinitarian formula. I still remember how those warm little brows felt under the palm of my hand. Everyone has petted a cat, but to touch one like that, with the pure intention of blessing it, it is a very different thing. It stays in the mind. For years, we would wonder what, from a cosmic viewpoint, we had done to them. It still seems to me to be a real question. There is a reality in blessing, which I take baptism to be, primarily. It doesn't enhance sacredness, but it acknowledges it, and there is a power in that. I have felt it pass through me, so to speak. The sensation is of really knowing a creature. I mean, really feeling its mysterious life and your own mysterious life at the same time. I don't wish to be urging the ministry on you, but there are some advantages to it you might not know to account of if I did not point them out. Not that you have to be a minister to confer blessing. You're simply much more likely to find yourself in that position. It's a thing people expect of you.
not that you have to be a minister to confer a blessing. Blessing doesn't enhance sacredness, but it acknowledges it. And there's a power in that. We're going to enter a time where we are going to bless the animals that have come with us today. And how we're going to do this is that for each person who's come with an animal today, what we're going to do is we're going to invite you to bless your own animal. This is an inclusive ritual. So if you brought, for example, if you couldn't bring your animal today for whatever reason, but instead you brought a stuffy or a picture, maybe the picture's on your phone, or maybe a leash or a collar or something like that, I invite you to take that out and to hold it close. Or if you left your animal companion at home and didn't bring a picture or a stuffy, you're invited to just take a moment to hold the thought of that animal in your mind. Or if today you're remembering an animal that you've lost, you're invited to hold the memory, the sacred and beloved memory of that animal with you. I invite you, if you're willing to place your hand on your animal, either physically or in your imagination. I invite you to feel your own mysterious life and your animal's mysterious life at the same time. To feel the connection. I invite you to summon in your heart gratitude. Think of the gratitude that you have for your animal companion, the love and the compassion and the care that you are blessed to be able to share with your animal companion. I invite you to remember times spent together, special joys that you've each shared. And I invite you to acknowledge the sacredness in this bond and the sacredness that flows through all life. I invite us to hold a time of silence as you, in your mind, offer your blessing to your creature. Let us hold a silent and sacred time together. Thus concludes our time of blessing. But the blessing of our animals continues through the days ahead. Amen. And thank you. And we were going to sing our next hymn of the morning. It is Spirit of Life. And let's rise for it. I think we're going to sing it through twice. I'd like to. Is that great? Yeah. So please rise in body or in spirit, and we're going to sing hymn number 123, Spirit of Life.
Each week, we take a time in the service to name significant joys and sorrows that we bring to this community. In a moment, I'm going to ask anyone who has a significant personal joy or personal sorrow that they would like to share to please come down the side aisles and then take turns dropping a stone in the water, and then if you would like to come to the microphone, say your name and share your joy or sorrow in a few sentences. Let us enter into this time of tenderness and trust. This first stone I would like to drop for the people and land of Western North Carolina. So many of us have loved ones and friends who are there, and so many of us have enjoyed the beauty of that place. This is a very difficult time, and I know many of you are carrying worries in your hearts for people that you know and love who are there. I would like to share a joy that our college students who are in school in Western North Carolina are all safe.
Hi, I'm Kristen. One of my sorrow was exactly what Marion said. We spend a lot of time in Western North Carolina and just can't imagine the devastation out there. So, and I have two joys, which is unusual for me. We recently visited our daughter in Alaska who's pregnant with our first grandchild. So we're very excited about that. And we're also celebrating our 20th wedding anniversary this week.
Hello, my name's Mary Hewlett. I place this as both a joy and a sorrow. I just returned Friday night from a week in Honduras with a program teaching us about the root causes of migration from Honduras. My joy is the wonderful people we met who are doing incredible work in Honduras. My sorrow is that there is so much work to be done.
This year, I developed wet macular degeneration, and I was losing my eyesight, but the good news is there are treatments, and they work, and mine is working, so.
Place a stone for Linda Chipman. She was at the beach and she was coming out of her house and there's a ramp and she fell on the ramp and she broke both of her ankles. So she's going to be coming to Carroll Woods for rehab. So please keep her in your thoughts and prayers.
Hi, I'm Susan McDaniel, and I found out yesterday that Susan Newlist, about 5 or 6 days ago, fell and broke her hip and underwent surgery, and that's all I know. I didn't know about the surgery until Friday after like 4 days, so keep Richard and Susan in your hearts.
This final stone is for the joys and sorrows among us that remain unexpressed. And let us remember that our joys and sorrows are all mixed up together. And let us extend to ourselves and to each other and the world compassion.
Let us take a moment to acknowledge the joys and the sorrows that were shared and those that we hold in our hearts. Amen. Our closing hymn this morning is another animal-themed one. It is number 203 in the Gray Hymnal. It's called All Creatures of the Earth and Sky. And I invite you to rise in body or in spirit as we sing.
Hallelujah.
Please remain standing in body or spirit. The words for extinguishing the chalice are in your order of service. Please join me if you wish to do so. We extinguish this flame, but not the light of truth, the warmth of community, or the fire of commitment. These we carry in our hearts until we are together again. Please join us in singing Shalom. You are invited to join hands with the person next to you, or you can place your hands over your heart.